Okay class, so today we are going to begin looking at quadratic functions. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at what a quadratic is, and the very basic example of a quadratic is of the form shown below in your notes. Okay, so basically the very first quadratic is a quadratic of the form y equals x squared. Okay, and that is what is shown on the right hand side, and you'll see that in brackets they use the word parabola there. That is the shape that what a quadratic makes. Okay, it's a curved shape. It's a shape that goes down, turns at some point, and comes back up. Okay, or if you look down below at my third example that I'll go over today, it's a shape that goes up, turns, and then comes back down. So there's two different types of quadratics. Okay, regarding if it's going down and then back up or up then back down. However, they do have very similar properties. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at today is y equals x squared. Now, what can also happen is there can be a number in front of that. So we could have a graph of the form y equals kx squared, okay, where k would be a number, okay, and what that number does is it stretches the graph by a scale factor of k. So for example, if it was y equals 2x squared, then it would stretch the normal y equals x squared function by a scale of 2. Okay, if it was y equals 3x squared, it would triple the size of it, quadruple the size of it, would stretch it out more. Okay, we can also have graphs that have a negative number in front of the x squared. Okay, so if you look down here, if the number in front of the x squared happens to be negative, so less than 0, then that means that the graph will become upside down, like what this third example is over here. Okay, this is a graph that would have a negative number in front of the x squared because it would be upside down. Okay, so that's what these functions look like. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some questions to show you how we can find what the value of k is using the graph. Okay, now just a quick note, they can also use different numbers in front of the x squared. It can be mx squared, it can be x squared. Okay, these questions all work the same. Our job is to determine what the hidden number is. Okay, so we're going to scroll down and we're going to have a look at these questions here. So if I look at this first question, okay, so the graph of y equals kx squared is shown below. Okay, we're given this coordinate which is 3, 45, and our job is to determine, okay, what was the value of k? Okay, was it 4x squared, was it 10x squared, was it 3x squared? We're going to use a coordinate to help us show work out what that was. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I need to label what my coordinate is. Okay, so every coordinate has an x and y part to it. Okay, so that's going to be my x part there. I'm going to rub that out. That's not maybe the best way to try and write that. Let's try this again. So I'm going to have my x coordinate here, and I'm going to have my y coordinate here. Okay, so I'm going to use them to help me with that. So starting off this function here, okay, how we start off every question like this is we write down what the equation of the graph was. Okay, so it's going to be y equals kx squared. Okay, so that's my first step. I'm then going to substitute the two values that I've got, so I know what x is and what y is. So y was 45, that's going to equal, we don't know what k is, so it's still k, and that's going to multiply what x was, which was 3. I need to remember it was x squared, so it's be 3 squared. I am then going to work out what that is on the right hand side, so 3 squared is 9, so I'm going to get 9 lots of k on that side. So now I've got an equation that I can solve to work out the value of k. So like what we normally do, we normally switch these round so that we have the letter on the left hand side. So it's going to be 9k equals 45. I am then going to divide both sides by 9 to get rid of the 9 there. Okay, so I'm going to divide this side by 9, and I'm going to divide that side by 9, and then I should be able to work out what k is here. So k is going to be 45 divided by 9, which is 5. Okay, so the value of k in this question was 5. So that graph was actually y equals 5x squared. And it's a good point to write that down at the end. Okay, even though we've answered the question and we worked out the value of k was 5, I'm going to write down what the equation was. Okay, so the equation for this question was in fact y equals 5x squared. Okay, so not only have I worked out k, I know what my equation was. Okay, and you're going to see that's how these questions work all the time. Okay, so we're going to look at the second question, sorry, and you're going to see they've given us a slightly different equation. They've gave us y equals mx squared. Okay, so that's fine. We're just going to have m's instead of k's, but that's fine. Okay, first step is I still always have to label what my coordinate is. So that's my x and that's my y value. I am then going to write down what my equation is to start answering this question. Okay, so it's going to be y equals mx squared. Then substitute my values in, so it's going to be 100 equals m times L is negative 5 here. Okay, so it's going to be negative 5 squared there. And dealing with the right hand side, negative 5 squared, that's negative 5 times negative 5. Well, we know if we square negative, it stays positive, okay, it doesn't stay negative. So that's going to be 25 lots of m there. Okay, so that's how I've got that far. I'm now solving the equation. Okay, so I'm now going to flip these over so that I can solve this from the left hand side. So it would be 25m equals 100. I then divide both sides by 25. So if I can just line this up, yep, I'm going to divide that side by 25 and I'm going to divide that side by 25 as well. Therefore, my m value will be 100 divided by 25, which is 4. Okay, and again, something I do just at the end is to state, once I found the value of m, okay, I then know that my equation was y equals 4x squared this time. Okay, the number in the front of the x squared was a 4. Okay, and that's me finished that question. So there's two questions, similar looking graphs. Okay, they just had a different number in front of the x squared, and we used our coordinate to do that. We're going to look at the third example now. This one's going upside down. Therefore, again, we've got a similar situation, okay? However, the only thing that's different for us, we expect our answer at the end to be negative, okay? Because we know if the k, or the number in front of the x squared, was negative or less than 0, the graph will be upside down. So that's what we hope to get out of this question, okay? First thing is though, same thing we always do, we label out our coordinate, okay? So that's going to be my x coordinate there, and that's going to be my y coordinate. I then start off by writing out my equation. So my equation this time, okay, well they've gave me an a for this, so that's not a problem, we can deal with that. I just need to try and find my cursor again. Where's my cursor line? There it is, found it. So we're given this equation here, so it's going to be y equals ax squared. I then put my values in, okay, well y is now negative 24. A is a, and that needs to multiply 2 squared. Okay, negative 24 stays there. 2 squared is 4, so I get 4 lots of a on that side there. Okay, now I'm going to swap these over so that I can multiply, but remembering that it is negative, so the negative has to stay in the question. Okay, so I've just swapped them round. I'm then going to divide my both left hand side and right hand side by 4 to get rid of the 4 there. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and then I get my answer, which should be a equals, well, negative 24 divided by 4 gives me negative 6, okay? And we expected a negative answer, okay? We did expect the answer to be negative, so we got a graph that was upside down compared to the others, okay? Oh, just done that a bit too much there. Okay, and again, just to finish off, it's a good idea to always finish this off with writing down what that graph looks like there. Okay, so there's 3 examples that you'll fill in your notes doing as I've done there. Okay, and you're going to answer all the questions set for you today like this. Okay, apologies if any handwriting isn't the best. This is the first time I'm using a graphics tablet, but hopefully as the lessons go by, my writing does improve. But hopefully it is legible. Again, pause the video at any point to make sure that you're staying on track with it. Okay, so it's designed for you so that you can write your notes down at your own speed. Okay, thanks very much.